finding out that majority of the population is illiterate and incapable of reading basic sentences, and a majority of the population can't even read past a 3rd or 4th grade reading level, it really comes as no surprise why the anime and manga community is in such a dire state. It really comes as no surprise why there's just so much discourse online when it comes to the lack of reading comprehension. It really does make a lot of sense. So to get some context here, I had this video appear on my subscription feed today that Asmigul was reacting to. The American Literacy Crisis. And I watched the entirety of this video, and it really just opened my eyes. It's a very good video, and I'm going to have this video and the original video linked in the description if you want to watch them for yourself. But one big thing that is a takeaway of this before I get into the anime and manga side of things is that it is very damning to see in the comments section of this video, the OG video, where you have professors, teachers, and different individuals talking about their own personal experiences of how there is a decline of literacy and how people are incapable of reading, that they've gotten so used to either audiobooks, AI, TikTok, YouTube, and all that, that they don't even need the ability to read anymore to be able to get information, and so the overall tool of reading is on the decline as time goes on. And I think one of the big aspects that really sped run this was definitely COVID. I think that eventually we would have had a decline of literacy like what we have right now, but I think that COVID is what really hit the accelerator and sped run what might have taken 10 years from now to happen right now instead. But anyways, I'm getting a little bit off topic. The point is that I think that there is definitely a correlation with literacy and anime. And let's explain. This is an article that came out a few days ago. Crunchyroll and now Netflix both confirm anime sub-watchers are the minority on their platform. Now, I gotta say this because people are gonna twist my words or twist this video. I'm not saying you're illiterate if you are a dub enjoyer or a dub watcher. I'm not saying that. I, however, am not saying that a good chunk probably that do watch dub might be illiterate. I'm also not saying that. But I'm not accusing every person that watches dubs as being illiterate. And the reason why is because I also watch dubs, okay? I have watched Dragon Ball, Gurren Lagann, Yu Yu Hakusho, Inuyasha, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, a bunch of different shows, basically, in English dub, okay? Panty and Stalking as well. And so, I am not someone that is a sub-elitist. I think there is a time and place where dub is pretty good. It is very good. But oftentimes, dub is pretty inferior. Now, it has progressively gotten a little bit better with time in the latest years, but it's still nowhere near, in my opinion, as good as the OG audio, Japanese audio with subtitles. But that's besides the point. The point is I think that one of the big driving factors of why we have such a rise and increase in dub watching is because people probably can't read subtitles. And also, they don't really need to actively do that because it is a new age of anime and manga. So let's explain that one. So we gotta think about how niche anime and manga was about a decade ago. In the past, we didn't have stuff like Netflix and Crunchyroll where you could go online and watch hundreds of different catalogs of different anime. You didn't have that. You didn't have the ability to watch so many different anime on one platform legally. About 10 years ago, maybe more than that, you had to go onto some janky sites with a bunch of pop-ups, ads, malware, like Trojan horses, and all sorts of stuff on it that would just give your computer a virus. It would flip out and have a seizure, okay? And then finding the right sites to navigate and the right sites to be able to watch shows, it built up the ability in this niche community of anime and manga to have the reading comprehension, to be able to read, basically, to find what you're looking for. But nowadays, you don't really have to do that. Because of how mainstream anime and manga has become, it's fairly easy to find what is popular, what is hip, what is new. Because also with algorithms playing a part, algorithms make it a lot easier to find a new product to consume and continue to consume, so to speak. And so I think one core aspect that is driving the reason why people mainly watch dub nowadays is probably because people don't really need to read as much anymore to actually find anime. Because in the past, dubs weren't as common as well. Most anime you had to watch in Japanese audio with English subtitles because it didn't have official dubs. It didn't have day one release of dub. You had to wait for that. You had to wait maybe years to actually do that. Even Dragon Ball, you had to wait a long time for that. So, what I'm trying to say is that I do think that thanks to how easy anime has become to access, it's made it easier for the illiterate to actually access the said product, to access anime and manga. Now, there's more layers to this. I also think one of the big driving factors to why there is a massive increase of dub watching is most likely because of attention span. I have definitely seen it myself, personally. There's two things I'm going to bring up. For one, we got to talk about how when people are watching dub anime, there's a few reasons why. If we're not counting literacy issues, we have to count a few other issues. One of those core issues is that people like to multitask. In this day and age, with how there's so much going on at once, either on your phone, on Discord, on the internet, in your life, maybe you're watching multiple shows, maybe you're wanting to play a game with the buds. A lot of people have multi-screens, multi-monitors for their PC or phones, whatever. Like, for instance, they just have a lot going on at once, okay? And you have people that will put on an episode of anime or a movie, TV series, whatever, on the side, and they'll play it, and then they'll start playing a video game. Or they'll play music. They'll put, like, like actual earphones on or headphones on and start listening to actual music while watching an episode of something, anime or something else. And I think there is just such a stimulation overload of like dopamine and everything that people are becoming numb. They need a constant hit of dopamine because their attention span is just so short now. Because they need so much going on to even reach the levels of dopamine hit that they are used to. And so the reason why you see a cognitive decline of like people probably wanting to read is because their attention spans are shortening as well. And think about it like this. If you're incapable of actually paying attention to something for more than 5 minutes and you need to put something else on, or you need to have a game on, music on, and you also need to have a show on, this could also translate into learning. For instance, if you're someone that has to be at school or college, whatever, and you have to sit down and learn something, sitting down and reading a book, it requires your full attention. But if you're so used to having a phone, computer, multiple monitors, game, whatever, that is going to, you're going to lose your attention. You're not going to be able to focus on it. You're going to become fidgety. You're not going to want to read it, anything like that. And I think that translates into learning as well. Why there is a decline in, literacy is because of attention spans waning. People don't want to sit down and learn anymore because they want that constant dopamine. They are so overstimulated with so much around them that it is causing so many other issues to happen within society. And one of the other driving factors I think that's really hurting anime in terms of, I guess, comprehension and literacy as well, is short-form content. I've talked about this briefly in the past, but there is people that will straight up watch an anime episode or episodes or series or YouTube videos and put the content on 2 times to 5 times speed. I'm not joking. I have an entire video dedicated that I made on the subject, but there is actually people that legit will even watch dub or even sub, okay, in fast forward 5 times speed, okay? That's insane. That's ridiculous. But to go one step further, you have people that will not actually watch an episode or read a manga chapter, and they will get all their information either through short summaries or through clips on TikTok or YouTube. And then they'll act like they know everything that happened within the said series, the episode, chapters, whatever, and then regurgitate what they saw even if it is missing 90% of the context. And then you have these people think they are knowledgeable and actual fans of the series, and then they go online to discuss it, and then they will flame you or get upset and say you have lack of reading comprehension, despite them only watching all their stuff through shorts or images or whatever. You get the point. So I think one of the big reasons why we have seen such a disaster in the anime and manga community as late in the last few years is probably because of a culmination of all of this into one. It's gotten collectively a lot worse. I think worldwide, literacy is on a decline. I know that the video that Asmongold talked about, it says American literacy crisis, but I think the worldwide issue is, it's affecting everyone. I think COVID had a disastrous effect, and I think TikTok and other short-form content is doing the exact same thing, and it's building up into a beast, a monster that honestly is going to have so much devastating effect in years to come that I don't even think we could truly understand until it officially happens, where there is just no turning back. But anyways, how do you feel about this? Do you think that the reason why there is such an increase in dub watchers, the reason why there's such a decline in comprehension skills within the anime and manga community in different spaces on the internet is because of literacy? Be honest in the comments below. I'm legit curious to see what you guys think. But I love you guys. Be safe, stay healthy. Chibi out.